As a teacher in Queensland, what I teach is determined by a set of curriculum documents at various levels. The government produces syllabus documents that describe in general terms what I need to teach. In the past, the syllabuses, or probably syllabi or something, were a state government responsibility, in Queensland through QSA. But now, with the Australian curriculum, these are being produced by ACARA for the whole of Australia. The syllabus gives a very big picture view, defining what students should be learning at each year and stage of their education. These aren't mandated requirements. I have to teach what's in the syllabus. At the next level, the school I'm working at produces a work program, usually one for each year level and subject. For example, there will be a work program for Year 7 English and another one for Year 8 Science. Sometimes some years or subjects may be combined. For example, one school I worked at, there was a maths work program for Years 8 to 10. The work program is a statement of intent, how the school intends to satisfy the syllabus document. Work programs normally have to be approved by the relevant government authority to ensure that the school's various programs, together, implement the syllabus requirements. Finally, as part of my day-to-day work as a teacher, I have to develop unit plans, term plans and so on, all the way down to individual lesson plans, to carefully implement the work program and thereby the syllabus. So what does an individual curriculum document look like? Every curriculum document should start with a rationale. I say should because some of the curriculum documents we'll talk about in a moment don't actually have a rationale. The rationale describes what's important about this subject. Why should I teach this particular subject? What's so important about mathematics? Why should students learn about whatever? The rationale puts this syllabus into the context of education in general. Then there will be a set of objectives, some kind of description of what we want graduates to know or be able to do at the end. These are the goals. Along with this, there needs to be a description of the topics that students will study, what students will actually be learning about or learning to do in order to reach the objectives. Sometimes these topics are embedded in the description of the objectives. Sometimes, as well as a list of topics, there are some suggested or mandated learning experiences. How do we want students to encounter the topics? How should they be learning the skills? Finally, the curriculum document needs to talk about assessment. How will we know whether students have achieved the objectives, or to what extent they have achieved them? Most syllabus documents today do this with criteria and standards. However, most of the Australian curriculum documents for years P to 10 notably don't say very much about assessment. So let's look at the curriculum scene in Queensland in mathematics over the last decade. In 2004, the Queensland Mathematics P to 10 syllabus was published by QSA. This document has an excellent rationale that's well worth reading, as it gives a clear and comprehensive description of the position and purpose of mathematics in the context of school education. It included a detailed description of topics and suggested learning experiences at each year level. In 2006, the Australian Government produced the National Statements of Learning for Years 3, 5, 7 and 9, with a view towards trying to unify the different states in a few key areas including mathematics, corresponding to the NAPLAN tests in those year levels. These national statements correlated fairly well with the Queensland syllabus, but were descriptive only of the content for every second year level. There was no rationale or assessment component. In 2008, in response to the national statements and to teachers who found its summary-style descriptions quite useful in their day-to-day work, QSA produced the Essential Learnings. These are really just an extraction of the content for each year level from out of the P to 10 syllabus, adjusted a little to align with the national statements, and again with no separate rationale or assessment. They're intended to be read in conjunction with the syllabus. This picture's starting to get quite complex. Fortunately, today we only have to worry about one thing, the new Australian curriculum, which is required as of 2012 to be implemented in all schools in Queensland and around the country.